So much going on today. So much. We had snow. You can't tell now, but we had snow. There's a little bit on a car left. But we had snow. So hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug says be mine in 3 different spots around the side. It has little dots and the little heart that says to be mine. I found this at a Walmart, I believe, and I bought it for myself. My husband bought me another one. I think he bought the other one. Pretty sure he bought the other one. But at any rate, this one had a bee in it with, you know, the candies, the kisses, and all the other stuff that they usually have in it. It's a couple years old, but I think it's a really cute soup tea type mug. It's a bit wider than most mugs and a little bit flatter, so it can actually be used as a soup mug if you want. Unlike the real tall ones that we've got right up there by where I'm pointing, right there. Anyway, so today's tea in our soup tea mug is the Stash Organic Gold Cup Chai. This is a caffeine-free herbal tea with turmeric. I seem to really like turmeric in my stuff. This one it says natural ingredients: cinnamon, ginger root, turmeric, orange peel, cardamom seed, and organic clove. This is a really nice tea. It has a beautiful hint of spice. It's very warming, which is really nice on an evening where it's been cold and it was snowing this morning. We got snow. And then after a while it started raining, but it stayed cold. So I'm wearing a warmer sweater, and we're going to try our warm tea. I've said in the past that the Stash teas I usually have to double bag. This time I chose to just put in 1 tea bag because this isn't as big as my usual mugs. It is a bit more round, so I may still have the issue that I usually have with the Stash and their teas, and that is it being a little on the weaker side. But we'll see. Let's give her a taste. She's been steeping about 3 minutes or so, give or take. So we're going to go ahead and give her a taste, and then we'll get started. Well, right now, I can taste it, but it's very light and delicate. So hopefully by the end of our video, that will have strengthened up a little bit. If not, then I'll just stick with doing 2 bags, even if it's a smaller coffee mug. Unless we're talking, you know, something that small. I can't even use this to drink in. I spent a lot of money on this coffee mug because it's so cute. I thought it was bigger. It's not. It really isn't. It's adorable, but yeah, you can't drink out of that. I can't drink out of that. Okay, so one thing of note, I have a new phone, which means a lot of things. Hopefully the picture is clearer. If the way I'm looking at things, I need to like warm up my foundation or something. And my lips are not this pink. They're supposed to be more of a deeper color. But on my side, it's looking a little different, I'm sure, than it will when it's finally done. I will know when I edit. But part of that is not knowing how this phone works in some ways. I don't know if it's going to cut me off at the 2022 mark, because if it can call on my old phone, I had some issues because it would only film for like 20 to 23 minute clips. I don't know if this phone's going to do that. I also am still trying to figure out where to look for the for the camera. So I apologize if I'm looking like I'm over here somewhere. I'm not trying to ignore you. I want to look directly into the thing, but I know sometimes that makes you look like you're looking somewhere else. So just a few things going on there. If you see any issues with this phone, please, with this new filming, please let me know, because I've also changed from HD to UHD, I think. It's supposed to be a better contrast, a better picture. So you guys will have to let me know if there's any problems other than me looking like I don't match at all. Believe it or not, this is a foundation that really worked for me on the old phone, so we'll just have to see how it goes. The other thing is we've had some scheduling stuff going on this week, so I am doing another hair care thing because that's what I've got ready, At this point, I usually try not to do 2 or 3 hair care things in a row, and I think we're on a third one at this point, for which I apologize. I do have other stuff I want to do. I'm just not quite ready yet, because like I said, we just had a whole week of just stuff happening. So I apologize that it's a third hair care video. I'd move it, except I have nothing else to put in its place for Monday. Hopefully we will switch on to something else by Thursday. I do have some ideas, and I think my Sips by for February is coming in. Today we're going to be doing a review of Uncle Funky's Daughter, and I basically picked up a little gift set type thing from at my local Kroger. It came in a little bag that I happen to be using in the bathroom right now for something else entirely, and it had 5 little products in it. What a day to do a hair care thing. My hair is a little bit, I tried a new mix today, and I don't think it's gonna work. The hair is feeling very heavy. The curls are looking a little on the heavier side. I think we're gonna have to change that mix out for the future, unfortunately. But getting back to Uncle Funky's Daughter, this came with 5 products, as I recall. Yeah, 5 products. I don't think I'm missing anything. So we have the Midnight Train Leave-In Conditioner, which, as you all know, as you can tell, it's in a pump. And if you've been on my channel before, you know I don't like pumps for leave-in conditioner. I mean, the sprays. Then we have the Curly Magic Curl Stimulator, and the Thirsty Curls Leave-In Curl Revitalizer. You use this for refreshing. It's basically a refresher. And then we got 2 little of our standard, curl creams. We've got the Extra Butter Curl Forming Cream and the Super Curl Miracle Moisture Cream. There is no shampoo, and there is no regular conditioner. So when I use these, I've used them with other products. And the first time I used it, I used my Bayo Mint shampoo and conditioner for the first time to give the product one of the best foundations to build on. So I used the Bayo Mint shampoo, and then I used another conditioner, and then I used my Bayo Mint leave-in styler, my conditioning leave-in styler, because that has become basically the one leave-in that I use. And they do tend to form a really good foundation for my hair for using with other products. The second time I used my Papaya Castor Scalp Cleanser and Coconut Shea Co-Wash to try them with something different. So first of all, the leave-in conditioner. 2 things about this. Glycerin was the second ingredient, so not surprised at the results when using it. As you know, right now my hair is not having a good time with glycerin. It hasn't been since this past summer, and it makes it frizzier and fuzzier and all that stuff. So wasn't surprised that we had this issue. Secondly, I am not fond of a spray-in conditioner like this, so it would have to be amazing for me to want to repurchase this. This has no slip. It doesn't feel like it conditions at all. It has lots of wet flyaways and frizz from the get-go, which means it's going to be even worse when your hair is dry. I had to dampen my hair with my leave-in laced water, my mister. So I have a water mister. I don't use it very often. Sometimes I'll use it to do a very quick refresh without using product, because sometimes I can't jump in the shower and do a wet refresh. So I will just dampen my hair. I won't add any more product. I will just dampen my hair. If I add more product and try to do the blow drying thing, my hair turns into a disaster. So I use that to just, it has some leave-in in it. It has just a little bit of oil in it, and that really seems to help with flyaways and other issues. I just can't put anything on top of it and re-diffuse with it. So I had to use that to help help deal with all the flyaways and stuff. And then on top of that, I had to use some extra of the Eden Body Works Coconut Shea Elixir, which is something else I use to deal with frizz on a daily basis anyway, but I had to use more of it than what I'm used to using. Because of the high glycerin and lack of conditioning, I didn't use this a second time. I wouldn't use this a second time. I'm not interested in using it a second time. I would never repurchase this. This is just not my bag, and somebody else may love it, but it is not for me. If you are glycerin sensitive, do not get this. If your hair is going to turn into a fuzzball, do not get this. This, whatever the actual percentage of glycerin is, it is so high that your hair is wet and starting to show off all the flyaways and fuzz and frizz, and it was impossible, honestly. And I don't recall my elixir actually taming it down that much, unfortunately, and my elixir usually helps quite a bit to get rid of the any wet frizz, any wet flyaways that I have, which is one of the reasons I use it every time. There are people who sit there and go, "You used to use so much stuff." Yes, I use so much stuff, but that is like my serum for my hair. It adds moisture and it does deal with those flyaways. And this product, it was a struggle. It was a struggle. All right, so moving on to the next two. Now, you are supposed to use either the super cream or the extra butter. The first time I used them both because I thought one of them would have more hold. We are going to start with the super cream. The super cream is very creamy, like a medium consistency lotion. It's not very heavy. It's not very thick. It feels and rubs out like a lotion. It does feel very moisturizing. The scents on these are so light, they didn't bother me at all in the shower or when I was using them. It's like a fruity, almost like a fruity coconut. Almost. More on the fruity end. Anyway, it definitely helped emphasize the curl and definitely brought in some moisture. The wet flyaways and the frizz were also reduced even more than with the elixir alone. So it does have its benefits, but we're going to get into why I won't be repurchasing these anytime soon either. So the extra butter. One of the things that I did like about this is that, we have hair in here. That's not what I like about it. This doesn't look or feel like a butter at all. It's not even as thick as the pudding I use. It's actually it's a very creamy, as you can see. It's got a thinner consistency. If I put my pudding on my hand, if I did that and dipped into the coconut shea pudding, I would have a lump on there that is not as translucent as this one. It's like a thicker version of the super cream, so it's not quite a lotion, but not a pudding. It feels a lot like most curl creams, but a little bit lighter on the feel. Just a little bit. Again, you get that sense that it's very moisturizing and all that stuff. These two, I think, were probably the best out of the entire group that I got. But again, I would not repurchase them. And like I said, we'll get back to that. Really quickly, we want to get into these others. So the Curly Magic Curl Stimulator. So my initial thought, since the description for this says it provides a firm hold, was that this is a gel or gel-like. So I decided to try the first time like a gel. I was going to use it over the cream or over the, whatever my curling cream was at the time. In this case, it was the butter and the other one. So I was going to use it like a gel to see if what kind of curl or hold I'd get. It has a looser consistency, but isn't quite like water. So as you see, it is gel. It does have a bit of a sticky viscousness to it, but it's also on the looser end for most gels. You see it sliding on down. When you rub it out, it gets that same consistency and feeling of like some of the ones that I say that are like applesauce, only this one does not have that kind of same kind of texture to it like applesauce would. It does have a bit of a stickiness to it, but it's not bad. As my hair dried, I did feel a cast developing, but again, not an annoyingly stiff one. First time I used these, I air dried, which is not the best way to test out products from me since I usually diffuse, but I had other things that I needed to get to and I didn't want to take the 20 minutes or whatever out of my day to diffuse that day. There was a lot of separation from the beginning, and none of the products created bigger clumps to begin with. With my hair, I can't have really huge clumps. If I do and they stay together, it makes me look like I have less hair, a little bit like it's looking today, even though I didn't do that today. But if I had a lot of big clumps like this all over my head, it would look like I had a lot less hair. So my hair needs the smaller bits to make my hair look fuller. And this did not give me that, which is actually positive for me. It would not be a positive for some people. They want the bigger curls and they want the bigger loops. But for me, I need the smaller clumps. Although that's not as big a deal now with the way I diffuse, it is still something. I need my hair to start to clump together a little bit. I need it to start to curl a little bit, but I need it to also separate. So the separation was a good thing. There also seemed to be more curl definition earlier during the drying time, but when it was dry, I wasn't impressed. While the curl seemed more defined, it also looked flat. It almost looked like it was almost like what it's doing today. You can see I have areas where the hair is not, I mean, there's curl there, but they're not very curly. The top is flatter. The combination today was not this one, I swear. And in fact, I think my hair was actually looking a little flatter. You can see up here, we are not getting our usual, the curl I've gotten in the past. And I really didn't like the way it felt. There was a residue that was an odd combination of waxy and oily. It was very uncomfortable. It was a really strange, it was really a strange sensation on my head. Right now, I can say that my hair, it feels soft. I can feel a bit of a residue, but it's not, there's a slickness to it, but there's no waxiness to it. Whereas with this, there's also kind of a sensation of waxiness to it too. And I didn't really like it at all. Since I had issues using the whole line and, all the products as a whole, I ended up trying to break them up and put them in different, with different parts of my normal routine, with my usual products that I'm usually very happy with. But again, I was using, so like I used the co-wash. I've actually used another co-wash with them. I've used my Talia Wajid shampoo with them. Things that my hair really enjoys, and I would think would help give this a foundation to make it work. It honestly took me a little bit to convince myself to try them again. That first experience of how they felt, no, I just didn't want to. There's, you know how it is. You try a particular product and it may look good or may look okay, but the way it feels, the way it makes you feel, you just don't want it. So it took me a bit to get back to it. I also changed how I apply and diffuse, because when I got these was before I started doing what I call the bounce diffuse. But the difference was huge. So there was a bit of a difference between that first time and after that. I will say, though, that some of that residue remained, unfortunately. So the first time I started breaking them up, I washed with my co-washes and used the Adwa Styler for the base, applied the coconut shea elixir as usual, then used the butter and the curling magic. Like I said, I only used the leave-in conditioner once, and then never again. Never again. These I would go to if I needed a backup, if I had nothing else. I'm not touching that leave-in conditioner again. Didn't know much of difference before diffusing. If anything, there seemed to be a little less curl, but also a fewer wet flyaways, and that's because I wasn't using the glycerin laced thing here. Most of my gels don't form a cast when I diffuse because the way I do it breaks it up, but this one did in most of my hair. Wasn't really hard or anything, but definitely there in most of it. I ended up with more ringlets and less frizz. The back had soft waves. At least it wasn't flat like it is today. Oh no, there's a little bit of waves back there. Always have to check. I also noticed more fullness than usual before fluffing. Unfortunately, that didn't last. The curls loosened a lot when fluffed, and more so as the day went on. The frizz remained more contained, but the volume deflated very quickly. The way I'm diffusing now actually helps my volume, so that was kind of surprising. And there was still a slight, almost greasy residue by the end of the day. That had disappeared, but so had most of the hold, and most of it did not encourage me to, it wouldn't encourage me to try it again either. So yeah, the leave-in and the stylers I wasn't too impressed with. I can feel that residue on my hair now, but it's very, very light, a residue on my hair right now. Like I said, I tried a different curl combination. It's very, very light, but even that bothers me. So the way these were feeling kind of greasy, making my hair feel like it was greasy, I wouldn't, like I said, I might use the two curl creams again if I needed to, but they aren't anything I would repurchase just because of how my hair felt. And even when I broke them up, like I used one on one day and the other on another day, I still got that residue. It wasn't as bad, but I still got that greasy, waxy feeling in my hair. And then by the end of the day, my hair was just no. And this curling magic that's supposed to have hold doesn't. So I don't know what this is supposed to be, honestly. It says a curl stimulator, but it also, on the little card that came with it that I don't have out here right now, you get a little card that tells you what the prime ingredients are and everything, and that little card said it's supposed to have some hold, and it just didn't have anything for me. So those four are pretty much no. So the final product is the Thirsty Curls Leave-In Curl Revitalizer. Like I said, this is supposed to refresh your hair. When used on dry hair, it does seem to revive the curl a bit. It didn't tame the frizz, and I don't think the amount of help with the curl was worth the cost of the product. These are not cheap. It seems to soften my hair a bit as well, but it also leaves a weird greasy residue. It dissipates some, but it doesn't go away. So you're already starting off with sort of a waxy, greasy feeling, or I am. I know there are people who love these products. I'm not one of them at this point. So for me, I've already got sort of a greasy, waxy sensation in my hair. I put this in and that greasy feeling got worse. No, I'm not gonna, no. Honestly, I don't think these are horrible products. People love them. That's why I was really happy to see the little sampler bag at the store, because I'd been wanting to try them because I'd heard so many people talk about it and say they're a good product and they really, really love them. So I don't think they're horrible products. There are obviously people who really do like them. They didn't damage my hair. I mean, they just sort of didn't do much for it, and they didn't help with the curl much. So I think these are just more suited to a different hair type. They do say kinky, curly, and wavy. You probably need kinkier hair, or maybe you need a different porosity, or maybe you need something different with your texture, a different density, a different porosity, a different curl pattern, curl type, something that these just didn't work for me. I'm a medium porosity. My hair runs 2B to 3B with a couple 3Cs down at the bottom, a couple in there. I got a couple corkscrews, and I'm medium density. I used to be fuller density, but now past it anyway. And my hair is medium. It's everything about me is medium. I'm one of the most vanilla people you'll meet. Even my skin tone is considered medium. But anyway, I can find foundations easier than anybody I know right now. But anyway, to back on track, I just think these are made for a different hair. That's all, entirely. They are not very heavy. I will say that. That's one thing that's nice about them. They're not heavy. They do work to get the curl and stuff in. But since they don't actually sink into the hair, since they don't actually have much hold, they don't help me. I have a very soft curl, and when I have a gel, that's one of the reasons why we're having problems today. When I have a curling creams and gels, they actually have to encourage that hold. And if they don't, then they're pretty useless to me. So, like I said, they're not bad. They're not horrible. They're just not for me. These are going to go to my neighbor, more than likely, because they're just not for me. They're just not for me. Alrighty, so that's it for the day, and I hope you like what you've seen. And if you do like what you've seen, I hope that you will subscribe if you're not currently subscribed. If you do subscribe, we have a lot of ifs going on this. If you do subscribe, I hope you'll hit that notification bell to know when I upload. I currently upload 2 days a week, Monday and Thursday, but we do have bonus videos, and in fact, I already know I've got another indie brand bonus video coming very soon. Very soon. It's on its way. So we do bonus videos on indie brand openings. My son opens his My Geek box every month. And in the summer, we'll be doing our container gardening, we hope. Things are actually looking pretty good for us financially for that. It's the weird weather we have to worry about at this point. So if you're interested in any of those, you will need to have that bell clicked so that you will get notified, because they do not go up on regular upload days. If you're one of my notification squad, I can talk, I swear. Every time there's got to be something that I kind of just fumble around on. Okay, there's a lot of things I fumble around on. But if you're part of my notification squad, you'll want to check both your bell and your subscription to make sure they're both still active. Still not having any trouble myself, but Lord knows. I mean, come on. Something breaks all the time. They do something new and it breaks. It breaks something. Breaks something important. If you choose not to subscribe, well, we would be sad and disappointed, but we would also understand. I ramble all over the place. I mean, I swear. Just for that talk. I try to edit it out, but we all know I ramble all over the place. So we would understand, but we hope that you will come back again. And if you do come back again, don't forget to bring your cup of tea. She cooled off a little bit. That's one thing about these bowl types. They cool off a lot quicker than the real tall ones, where you've got more liquid together, keeping it warm. It's cooled off a little bit. Let's give her a taste and see if a single tea bag works from Stash for one of these smaller mugs. Let's see if I can go to a single tea bag as long as I use a smaller mug. What do you think? Still tastes watered down. I am getting the spices a bit more, but yeah. So I'm going to have to stick with double bagging my Stash. I really was kind of hoping that having a smaller mug of some sort would help, but I just like a stronger tea, and I love this particular tea. It's I really do. I love this particular tea. Like I said, it's one of those teas that's nice and warming, and especially in cold days, it's a really nice tea. But I definitely prefer a much stronger tea, so we'll have to continue to double bag my Stash. Anyway, that's it for the day, and I hope you have a good one.